we started fundraising, we didn't really understand how venture capital firms work and how investors work. And again, like if it's a sales process, you need to understand your customers and you need to know how they make decisions. Most of the people who are in venture capital firms, there's typically associates, principals, partners, managing partners. Venture capital firms work differently, but most generally like that. The only people who can typically make investment decisions are partners and managing partners. That's it. Principals can't make decisions. Associates can't make decisions. What associates and principals are doing are they're doing a lot of the legwork in meeting with companies, and the ones that they think are interesting, they're trying to bring it to a partner and say to the partner, this company is interesting, we should take a look at them, which means you should take a look at them. Partner should take a look. And so they're like the initial first filter. So sometimes you can talk to the associates and they will help kind of like bring your company or deck up to the partners, or sometimes you go straight to the partners, which is obviously always better, but sometimes it's just not an option. The trick early on is you need some sort of internal champion. So whether it's like an associate at first, if you talk to an associate and you get an associate that really likes your company, then you need to help them convince the next person up, which is either a partner or principal, whatever it is. Once you convince that person, then you need to help them convince the next person up. The final stage of VC firms is eventually, if a partner likes it, the partner will bring the deal to the rest of the partners at the firm. And so I think most VC firms, they do their partner meetings on Mondays, which is a hack, by the way. So if you guys, are meeting companies and stuff, they're probably going to meet again on the Monday. But they're probably going to meet on this Monday. And what they're doing is, if Madhu has a company, I'm going to the rest of the partners. I'm like, hey, I met this really interesting company. Here's what they do. The founder is Madhu. I think we should invest. What do you guys think? And I'm like making a case to everybody else. Some venture capital firms are consensus driven, which means that you need that partner needs to convince like 60% or 50% of the other partners before they can do a deal. Some venture capital firms are not consensus driven at all. And all you got to do is convince one partner, and then they can like make the deal. So it just depends on which one, but you're kind of working your way up through venture capital. So if you have fundraised before and you're kind of like, why am I talking to this associate, then a principal, and you're basically working it up the chain, right? And the real decision makers are the partners. And so you're just working it up. One way that you can do this is, if you're talking to the VCs, you can obviously look at kind of like some of the trends that they're looking at. So I don't know, VC blog posts and podcasts are actually a good way for this. Like if you hear a VC who like mentioned that they really like something on a podcast and you happen to be working on this space, you should absolutely like reach out to them directly and talk to them about it. So you can kind of like shortcut that. That shortcuts the whole process because they already internally have conviction that this is something they want to invest in. So all they're debating is, should I invest in you or not? So that's a thing you can do. But if you're raising money from a VC, you're basically working up this chain in some way, shape, or form, and getting different people involved. Maybe I'll say one last thing. Some people are like, hey, is it even worth talking to associates? Yeah, totally. Like you just need to get somebody there to kind of bring it to everybody else. So it's good.